On June 13, 2011, a historic B-17 bomber from World War II named the Liberty Bell made a forced landing shortly after takeoff from Aurora Municipal Airport. After touchdown, the engine fire that had started in the air swept through the airplane. Since fire trucks were unable to transition the soft soil of the cornfield, spectators and support teams were left to simply watch this irreplaceable piece of history burn to the ground. Of the original fleet of 12,731 originally produced, there are only 13 B-17s remaining worldwide in flying condition. This raises a question. How much longer are we going to be allowed to destroy our irreplaceable history? You don't have to look too hard to find the web filled with hull loss accidents involving vintage airplanes being destroyed at airshows and exhibitions around the world. Private interests have been allowed to buy our history and are flying it into the ground. The tragedies of those killed both on the ground and while flying these airplanes does bear mentioning. But this is also about the loss of our history. Do we need to see the Spirit of St. Louis fly in order to appreciate her? Do we need to hear the roar of boxcars' engines in order to grasp the historical significance? Are we that selfish over our own children and our children's children that we deprive them even the opportunity to see these fabulous machines at all, just so we can hear them and see them fly today? Will we be allowed to fly these airplanes until all but two of each have crashed? What then? Like a virtual Noah's Ark, will we finally establish a central air museum where most Americans need to fly to for a once-in-a-lifetime experience of seeing our national aviation treasures? The way I did when I finally visited the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio after 10 years of wanting to? Stop flying our national treasures now. I propose that the U.S. government purchase these remaining airplanes from their current owners and put them on static display in easily accessible locations throughout the USA so everyone can appreciate the majesty of them for generations to come. Arguments of costs are ridiculous. The Liberty Foundation estimated that the value of the Liberty Bell, one of the most expensive warbirds, was at $4 million. Even if the government doubled that price for a loss of possible future profits, we could either save our history with that money or purchase 6 miles of freeway. Eventually, the static display locations would pay for the purchase price through the cost of admissions as well. Let's begin to think clearly. It's time. It's time to stop flying our national treasures. You know as well as I do, if this goes on, virtually all our flying history will vanish, save a few remote examples.